Fossil ended up beating Fruta in 4 sets, Chatfield 1 and 3.
And we're underway. The spike, deflected back. Chatfield looking to reset. Gets it over. Fossil setting up play with the spike of their own. And that is in. That is a great spike by number 3, Nicole Grove, to get the first point on the board for either team.
Nicole Grove did not play as big a role in the last game, but hoping to increase her role this game. She will do if she keeps spiking like that.
The serve. Chatfield having to go out of bounds to get it, and they get it. It's cross. Fossil looking for the spike. Oh, it just goes above the net. Chatfield looking to recover. Spike of their own. Oh, just over. Fossil keeping it alive. Looking to just get it over. And they do. Oh, what a lucky bounce for number 10, Melanie Smith.
Melanie Smith is the definition of risk and reward. She definitely hits it very hard, but sometimes very inconsistent with her spots.
Yes. Smith with the serve. And that is just out of bounds off the Chatfield player. And now Fossil takes an early 3-0 lead.
Good lead for Fossil. Want to hang on to this, carry this momentum throughout the set.
Melanie Smith will continue to serve. Brought up. Chatfield looking to get a good spike. Oh, they aren't. And it just goes right back into their own net. Another mental mistake for Chatfield, costing them another point.
So far, very sloppy from Chatfield. They hit it on the serve that was going out, and then just hit it right against the net. Need to tighten up.
Serve. Oh, and Smith just puts that one right in the net. But a very good start for Fossil Ridge. Chatfield may be a bit tired given that they just played against Fruta Monument, and Fossil has had a couple hours of rest to get rejuvenated again.
Smith in the last game had 4 missed serves, and that's 1 already here.
Yep. Fossil looking to spike it. Deflected up. Chatfield's going to get a chance. Spike of their own, just kept inside. Fossil kept it alive. That was... Oh, and it looks like number 16, Maya Sipple, just hit the net. And so that is going to be a point for Chatfield.
Very good effort there. You just couldn't quite execute.
Yep, the serve. And that is a great ace from Chatfield. Caught the Fossil players a little by surprise as it kind of just settled right inside the line.
It's a very good spot. If you can hit those spots all night, this game will be very easy for Chatfield.
That's a second serve for number 9, Ella Femeris. And it's up. Fossil looking for the spike. Oh, just tipped it over, kept alive. Chatfield looking to recover. Just gets it over in time. Found a sweet spot. Kept alive by Fossil. It's kept in. Fossil, the spike, and that is in.
Number 8, Quinn McMahon, doing a very good job. Last game played a huge role with a lot of spikes on that far side.
It looks like Chatfield was a little upset with the call. They were expecting to get another one for a Fossil player hitting the net, but apparently the referees didn't find it severe enough to hit it. Serve from Fossil. And that one goes right into the net, and that is another point for Chatfield.
It's 2 serves against the net for Fossil. They need to really elevate those serves a little bit, get them over the net, give them a chance at a point.
A little early in the game, you expect both teams to be a little sloppy. Serve by Chatfield. Digged out by Fossil, digged again, and not going to be able to go over the net. That is a great spot picking once again by Chatfield.
Chatfield's serves have been in very good spots so far, making Fossil really work to get the ball back over.
Tied at 5 apiece. The serve from number 1. Digged out. Fossil. And it looks like she's going to get called for palming it. You aren't allowed to lift it up in the air. You don't see that call a lot, but when it happens, it's always a bit of a head scratcher.
Yes, sir.
Serve from Chatfield. Oh, dig again, and it's not going to go over. What another great serve from Chatfield to give them a 7-5 lead.
Chatfield's number 1, Kennedy Myers, a senior, doing a very good job with their spots, placing them in spots that are hard for Fossil to get to.
Serve again. This one's a little bit more manageable. Fossil looking for a spike. Just tips it over. And it's going to find the sweet spot. That is a great little tip over by number 8, Quinn Van Manen.
She's been very good with mixing up her spikes and then little tips over the net, and it's been very effective through the past couple games.
Fossil as a whole is very good at getting those little tips on net. And here comes the serve from the senior, Sydney Peterson. Brought over. Chatfield looking for a spike. Oh, my word. And what a demanding spike by number 8, Emma Cartwright, the senior, she just thundered that one right into the soft spot for Fossil Ridge.
It's so hard to get those even when they're coming at you, and when they're away from you, they're nearly impossible to get to. Very good spot there.
Yes, indeed. Serve from Chatfield. Fossil getting a good shot at it. Just a little tip over. Looking for a spike of their own. Chatfield deflected back by Fossil Ridge. A little bit of play at the net. Back on the Chatfield side. Looking for a spike again. Deflected back, kept alive. Tipped over. And it appears to have been over the net. A violation of some sort. Either way, that is Fossil's point after a great defensive set for them.
Yenwu Su and number 15, Emma Grace, have been very, very effective at blocking those spikes at the net.
The serve from Fossil. Brought up. Oh, and just not able to dig it out. And
number 15 and number 17 weren't able to work as a single unit there to block the spike. They were a little bit separated, so the spike was able to find a way through.
Yep, and a good job finding that spike by the Chatfield team as they take the lead by 2 again, 9-7. And the serve here is going to be by number 11, Mia Conrad, the freshman. The serve. Fossil able to get it up, looking for a spike. Oh, and that's a monstrous spike by number 10, Melanie Smith, who just hammered that one right into the Chatfield end.
Melanie Smith has a ton of power on her spikes, and when they land in, they are incredibly difficult to return.
Serve brought in. It's going a little wide. Chatfield able to save it and get it over. Fossil, a little bit of discombobulation of their own, but they're still going to get it. Melanie Smith kept alive by Chatfield. Going to get a chance at it. Once again, brought back to the Fossil end. Melanie Smith going to get another, just a little tap in, and that's a point for Fossil Ridge High School. Back-to-back
points for Melanie Smith. Very good work. When you're worried of that spike, you kind of have to lay off and can't worry about the tip too much. She did a great job popping it right in the gap there.
And that's a timeout for Chatfield as we are tied at 9 apiece. And so really quick, we're going to look at these two teams. So Fossil so far has had the better regular season year, going 12-1 compared to the 7-4 Chatfield Chasers. And they've also got the momentum as they've won 9 in a row compared to Chatfield's 2 losses. And Fossil has won 4 against the top 24 and lost none, while Chatfield has had a very rough time of it, going only 3-4, even though they were against top teams like Mount Vista and Columbine, who are both top 5 in the league. Sets 4, Fossil runs away with it, up 36-26, and sets against are pretty even at 11-13. What do you think of all that, Nolan?
Fossil definitely seems like the better team this season so far, especially in the regular season, but it does seem like Chatfield's experience against these tougher teams would come into play this game because Fossil is definitely one of the better teams.
Both of these teams look fairly even so far as we are getting ready to come out of this timeout with the Fossil serve looking to keep up some of their momentum. The serve, Yuwon Su, brought over. Looking for the spike. Brought in. Tipped up. Fossil looking to get it over. Melanie Smith gets it over properly. Looking for, just a little tip, and that is out. Just a mental error for Chatfield. Looking to catch Fossil off guard.
We see Chatfield making a little bit of an adjustment with their serves because Fossil's net defense is so good, they serve it more to the back.
The serve from Fossil. The spike brought back up at the net. Chatfield going to get another chance at it. Looking for another spike. Other end. And that hits the net. Another tip over, and that is another point for Fossil as they have gotten 4 straight points to go up 11-9.
In Fossil's game against Fruta definitely changed up their strategy and were spiking it to the back almost exclusively at the end of the game.
The defense of Fossil is great as they look to save this one. And it appears that they've got her across in the midcourt line, which you aren't allowed to be on your opponent's side whatsoever. That's a point for Chatfield.
Good effort there by number 15. Just couldn't quite stay on her side and get the ball.
And that's right into the net by Chatfield. A little bit of a mental error as that just gives the momentum straight back to Fossil.
That was number 12, Hayden Nash, a sophomore from Chatfield.
They'll look to bounce back. The serve from Emma Grace Modelmog. Brought up, Chatfield looking to save it. Get it just over the net, and they do. Fossil looking for a clean setup here. Gonna get it. And that's Nicole Grove. Her serve hits the blockers, but it lands on the Chatfield side. Point for Fossil Ridge.
That's her second spike on this close side. That's gone right through the defense.
They love to use Grove on that right side, and for good reason. She's been very effective. Serve. Brought over. Chatfield looking to save it, and they do. Got a decent play. Fossil looking to get a good enough spike, and they do. And that is in. Just hits the line. That is once again Melanie Smith.
She has been on a tear so far this game. After she has that missed serve, she's had 3 points in a row where she's absolutely dominated and have not been hit back.
Yep. Fossil up by 4. Model Mug with the serve. Just tipped up. Brought up. One more chance for Chatfield to get it over, and they do. Brought up. Serve, spike, and that is a brilliant spike by number 16, Maya Sipple, the sophomore.
Fossil spikes are doing very, very well right now. Chatfield's having a lot of trouble just getting to the ball before it hits the ground.
Model Mog, the serve again. Fossil's been so dominant because they've been able to get those serves very recently. And speaking of spikes, that is a great spike by number 9, Elena Farmis on Chatfield. And
she's a senior and looking to make an impact in this last season with Chatfield and take him to the state championship.
Yes, the serve by Chatfield. Kept in bounds. The spike, tipped out. Looking for a spike of their own. Chatfield, far side. And that is in. That's a great spike by number 5, Ella Tashur, the senior, as they look to climb back into this game.
Yes, Chatfield has a lot of seniors on their roster this year, so they would definitely want to capitalize this year.
Oh, brought it up, save. Great dig by Bella Kiefer. Brought over. A great dig by Chatfield. Kept up the spike, kept in bounds. It's going wide, and it is on the edge of the stands. Fossil not able to get to it. And that is a point for Chatfield.
That was a great point there. Both teams had very good digs to keep themselves in the point, but ended up going Chatfield's way.
Chatfield was able to put it into the soft spot, and that really put Fossil in the hole for the entire point. Gonna get a better chance here. The spike, and that is out. Melanie Smith put a lot of power on it, just couldn't quite find the sweet spot.
What a phenomenal set, though, by number 15, Emma Grace Model Mog. She's done a great job this entire season. She's ranked 25th in the state.
Served by Chatfield, brought up. Chance to save it, just get it over the net, and they do. Chatfield bringing it up, and that is in. Another spike by Ella Shoroff, and there we go. And we've got a tie game once again, 15-15. A little bit of runs for both teams so far.
Fossil bit very hard on the fake, but they were able to bounce it back to the outside, and Chatfield was able to get the easy spike.
The serve. Fossil gonna get a clean spike here, and they do. But that is out of bounds. Once again, that's Melanie Smith on the near side, just not quite able to find the inbounds line, and that is a timeout Fossil Ridge as they trail by 1.
When Melanie Smith is on her shots, Fossil seems to do better.
And right now we're going to look really quickly at the 5A rankings. We've got a lot of good teams who are already competing in regionals, and most notably to look at is the top 5. Mountain Vista, Rampart, Ralston Valley, Columbine, and Cherry Creek all have really good shots to win the championship. And you see there, number 17, Fruita Monument, played earlier today, but now is officially eliminated from state competition due to the 8 and the 9 seed Fossil Ridge and Chatfield. And so we knew this was going to be a dogfight from the beginning.
Yes, Fossil Ridge and Chatfield, 8 and 9. Can't get any closer than that. Both teams dominated Fruita Monument in their games. They were just sizably bigger teams, more experienced, and just looked better today.
Yep. And once again, the winner of this game will go on to state and will play the winner of the Region 1 tournament, which we will talk about later in the broadcast. And so we're coming back from the timeout. Riding a 6-point streak, Chatfield going to serve. Gonna dig at it. Gets it over the net. Kept alive. Fossil looking for a spike here. Gets it. But it's brought back by Chatfield. That's some great net front defense. As 3 of their defenders just built a wall right in front of the net.
Yeah, they definitely went to Melanie Smith, hit the ball 3 times in that point, and they definitely are keen in on her. So recently, she's been the focal point of Fossil's offense.
The serve. Kept alive by Fossil. Gonna get the serve far side. Grove. And that is tipped out of bounds by Chatfield. They got the block, but it just landed out of bounds. So that's a point for Fossil Ridge.
The 3rd spike by number 3, Nicole Grove. That has been a point for Fossils, doing very, very well so far.
And the serve by number 10, Melanie Smith. Last time she served, she put it into the net. Not this time. Chatfield looking for a spike. Going to get a big one. Kept alive by Modelmog. And it just is not able to find the target. As a little bit of miscommunication on the Fossil side as it just clinked off the net.
A little bit of sloppy play. Couldn't quite get their hands under the ball to pop it up, so it was more like a baseball flying through the air.
Chatfield with the serve. Oh, and that's inbounds. Just hits the line, and that is a very close call for Fossil Ridge. And just a real deflator as they just got an extra point, and it really just hurt things all around.
Yeah, that's 2 aces already. Chatfield's hitting very good spots right now in their serves.
The serve once again. Brought up. Gonna get the spike. Oh, just a little tip, kept alive. Brought in. Oh, that's number 16, Maya Sipple, just spikes it into the net, and that is point Chatfield.
A little bit of a low set from Emma Grace, a rare mistake you see from her as we'll go into the timeout.
Yep, we're getting another timeout from Fossil Ridge as they are forced to take nearly back-to-back timeouts. Since they were leading 15-9, Fossil has since been outscored 11-1. Why do you think that is?
I think really it all comes down to number 10, Melanie Smith. We saw the 5-point, when Fossil went on a 5-point streak, she was the one who was scoring a lot of those points and involved in almost every single one, whether it be spiking it or returning the spike. And now that she's kind of slowed down a little bit, it's definitely hurt Fossil.
They're definitely going to need somebody else to step up. They're either going to need to get her to contribute or somebody else step up, like number 3, Nicole Grove, who's put in a couple of great games, a couple of great spikes so far.
Looks like they're going with the same group they had before, trying to make it work. Would not be surprised if we see Yeon Woo Soo come in very soon. Her defense is next level.
And we're going to get Chatfield coming out of the timeout with the serve. And that is just barely out of bounds. That could be a real momentum shifter as Fossil, now only down by 3, has the serve once again.
Definitely Fossil needed that point, needed to stay in this set.
The serve brought over. Chatfield going to get a spike on it. Far side. Deflected the line, kept alive. Getting a spike out of it. Deflected. Chatfield going to get a spike of their own. Tried to deflect it. Good dig by Bella Kiefer. Kept alive. Just barely over the net. Great play by number 5, Ella Tashur, the senior for Chatfield.
That was very good awareness because a lot of times you get caught up in the point just trying to get those 3 hit points, but you did a very good job and just put it right back over.
Fossil's had some trouble getting some clean sets right up here, so they're looking to improve on that. As they go in here, the spike brought back. Going to get another set. Far side, Nicole Grove, and that is out of bounds as that is now 22-17 Chatfield as they're looking to run away with it.
Rare mistake there from her. And we do see Yen Woo Soo has been entered into the game. Looks like they need some help on defense right now.
Yep. And the brought in, kept alive. Big spike here, and it's in. Number 8, Quinn Von Mannen, the junior, just puts in a great spike as it splits the defenders and finds the soft spot.
She has been a great force on the far side. We saw it in the first couple points where she did a great job. Looks like they're trying to integrate her more into the offense now that Melanie Smith has slowed down.
Yep, Fossil down by 4, getting the serve. Sydney Peterson clips the net, but it's all good. Gonna get the chance at the spike, and it deflects off the Fossil's players out of bounds. No chance for Fossil to get any sort of play on it, as that is another point for Chatfield.
They definitely need to stick with it. Even though you are down by 5, there's always a chance you could go on a 4 or 5. We've seen that just this set, very, very run-oriented.
Serve by Chatfield. Oh, it's barely kept alive. Gonna need to make a play on it, and they do not. That is another point for Chatfield as they're up 24-18.
That was a disaster from the start. They couldn't quite get the return up in the air. Couldn't quite keep it alive.
Looked like it just rolled off their players. Here we go. Set point for Chatfield, 24-18. Serve. And that is out. Fossil stays alive, 24-19, as they will get the serve back.
Right now you're just focused on tying the game up, just extending it as long as you can, because the longer it goes, the bigger chance you have each time.
If Fossil can get to 24 before Chatfield can get to 25, they're still alive. Kept in. Chatfield, spike chance. And that is in. That's a big spike for Chatfield, and there is the first set of the game, and it goes to Chatfield.
That was number 8, Emma Cartwright, and she had a couple big spikes that game that really helped push Chatfield over the edge.
And really quickly, while we're in the intermission, we're going to take a look at some of the regional stuff. It's very interesting that Fossil is playing one of the only ones during the day on a Friday, as the rest of these will be played either tonight or tomorrow, apart from the one last night at Fort Collins High School between Rampart, Fort Collins, and Regis Jesuit, as the number 2 ranked Rampart was able to put up a big victory over both Collins and Regis, and was able to advance to the state tournament, becoming the first team to do so.
Yeah, Rampart, the number 2 team in the state, definitely expected them to win there. And Fort Collins, number 15, and then Regis Jesuit, number 23, kind of lined up just as anyone would expect.
And so the only other team that's played is our region, Region 8, with Fossil Ridge and Chatfield both beating Fruita, eliminating Fruita from competition so far. And as for all the other regions, they're playing later tonight and tomorrow, including Region 1, which the winner of that will play the winner of Fossil Ridge Chatfield. Those teams are either Mountain Vista, Pine Creek, or the 5A Front Range 4th place team, Horizon.
Yes. Fruita definitely had a good chance. I mean, that's the best spot you can ask if you're a 17 seed to be put in with an 8 and a 9. They're both winnable games, just you're a little bit of an underdog there, but they weren't able to pull either one of them out, and so they are out of the state running.
And so we focus back on this game. So what really went wrong for Fossil during that set?
I think that their offense just stopped clicking when we looked, right when they hit about point 15. Their offense just slowed down. They weren't able to get clean spikes. Their sets weren't right. They weren't able to get the ball up in the air as much. It was really just a little bit of sloppy play, and I think the momentum shifted against them, and Chatfield could feel it, and they were able to capitalize really well with clean play and good spikes.
Chatfield was able to end the game on the set on a 15-3 run, showing absolute dominance on every part of the volleyball court, which allowed them to take that first set. But Fossil Ridge is known to come back in these types of situations. They lost the first set to both Rocky Mountain and to Pooter, and so that allowed them to come back in 3 straight sets. I'm not so sure about this game, though. Chatfield is a whole nother beast.
Fossil definitely has experience playing from behind, which I think will come into play here because a lot of teams will get quite down if they lose the first set or first point or whatever. But I think Fossil definitely still feels like they have a good chance of winning this game.
This will be a big second set because if Fossil can get this, they're just back in it. It's basically 0-0 once again. But if they lose this, they'll need to win 3 in a row, and all the pressure will be on them.
Yeah, this first set was definitely one they could drop, but this second set is definitely a need-to-win set if they want to advance.
And we've got both teams, every official, getting ready to go.
Yeah. And right before we start, we are going to go over some of the individual COVID rules, which these important teams are put into place, that all face coverings are being worn by every single participant. The regular season is only limited to 12 chairs on the bench and 18 total team members. All teams, regardless of level, have 25 student athletes at the practice, and practice and workouts are considered in pods. Trainers and managers use hand whistles as opposed to regular ones, and all of the officials wash all their equipment, and they are limiting contact. Great point for Fossil there. We just saw very, very clean point. Number 5 on Chatfield, who is Ella Tashur, a senior, tried a couple different ways of scoring on Fossil, but wasn't able to capitalize on any of them.
Yes, and we're back. Bella Kiefer with the serve. Fossil up 1-0. Looking for a spike here. Chatfield, keep it alive. Fossil, just looking to get it over. Grove keeps it alive, and now Chatfield looking to get it over. Bella Kiefer with the dig. Spike by Yuwon Su, and it's tipped off of the Chatfield defender, and that is a 2-0 lead for Fossil.
See that? You just saw the point before. They weren't able to really set it up, but at this point they were able to set up the regular point with the bop, and then the set, and then the spike.
The serve from Fossil Ridge. Kept alive by Chatfield. They're going to get a spike out of this, and they do, but it's deflected back. Chatfield looking to reset. Going to get another spike. Kept alive. Fossil looking for a spike of their own. Oh, just tips it over. Kept alive on the Fossil side. Once again, a spike. Oh, and it's just tipped back. Nicole Grove got it over the net, but didn't put enough power in, so Chatfield was able to get it back on the Fossil side and take one of those points back.
Looks like she was trying to get it over the defenders, but the defenders were able to hang in there and get the block.
Fossil looking for a set. Spike again. Oh, just barely kept. And it looks like we've got a point. Once again, it looks like one of the Fossil players may have touched the net. Saw a little bit of lobbying going on from the Chatfield sideline. We're very unhappy that that was not called immediately.
Number 3, Nicole Grove, definitely was not going to be denied that time. She did it with as much power as she could.
And there's another spike, but kept alive by Chatfield. Far side. And that's kept alive, but unfortunately goes into the stands on the Fossil play, and that is another point for Chatfield. They've strung together 3 in a row.
Great effort, though, from Danielle Burchett, the freshman.
Yep. And now Fossil looking for another chance to get the point back, and that is out of bounds off of number 8, Quinn Van Manen. And so that is another point for Chatfield, as they have now put together 4 points in a row to take a 4-2 lead. Chatfield
did a good job protecting the sideline there.
Kept alive, looking to just get it over, and it does not, just short. And there is another point for Chatfield, as they are now up 5-2.
Yeah, again, it's just a little bit of sloppy play from Fossil. They need to settle down and make sure they can get to the set portion.
The serve, the set, spike, brought back, and just finds a soft spot in Fossil's defense as they score another point to take a 6-2 lead and an early timeout from Fossil Ridge.
Right now what we're seeing is not a lack of offense from Fossil because they are getting some really good spikes, but Chatfield's defense has really stepped it up since the beginning of the game, and they're blocking serves and returning serves, which is really hurting Fossil right now.
Especially in the second set. Chatfield appears to have changed up their game plan and is going very, very heavy on those deflections, and they've been able to get several points off of them.
I would not be surprised if we see Fossil try to do some little tips over the defenders, try to mix things up.
Maybe try the basketball strategy and try and get a little bit more air under it to go over the taller defenders.
Yes, exactly, because right now Chatfield's net defense is looking better than Fossil's.
Chatfield currently on a 6-0 run after giving up the first 2 points. They're looking to take this second set and then just run away with the rest of the game.
Yeah, number 9, Ella Famaris, the senior, has been serving and has been doing a very good job of it.
A little bit of cleaning going on, and it looks like we're all ready to go. The serve from Chatfield. Kept alive. Fossil, the set. Oh, that's a great set play. That was a great play design as number 8, Quinn Van Manen, just hit it at the forearm of the Chatfield defenders, and it just ricocheted off, giving Fossil the point.
The set from number 15, Emma Grace Modelmog, was a very, very good set, off balance, but put it in the perfect spot.
The serve from number 4, Sydney Peterson. Kept alive by Chatfield, but not for long, as it just goes out the back court.
Number 7, Zoe Dean from Chatfield, a senior, was not quite able to get under it enough, and as it flew behind her.
And now it is 6-4, Chatfield still in the lead. As they're going to get a chance for a spike. No, they are not, but they're just going to get it over. Fossil's going to get a chance to get it over too. Looking to find the sweet spot. And that just hits the net for Chatfield. And that is another point for Fossil Ridge. And they've been able to string together 3 points out of the timeout.
Number 5 on Chatfield, Ella Tashur, a senior, has 3 times now tried to just tap it over the net and has not worked.
Peterson, the serve. And that is out. All that momentum appears to have gotten washed away with a faulty serve, but that's going to happen sometimes. It was unfortunate that happened at this inopportune time for Fossil.
Fossil definitely needs to clean up their serving a little bit. It's been a big problem for them so far.
Serve from Chatfield. Kept alive by Fossil. Bringing it up. Going to get a spike, but that is out. Yep. Looks like Fossil may have been lobbying a little bit, that it tipped off a defender, but it's going to be called as a clean out-of-bounds play, and that is another point for Chatfield, putting them up by 3.
Yeah, Chatfield up 5-8. Fossil's definitely got to take the serve again so they can get a string of points going.
Kept alive. Looking for a spike. Deflected off the Chatfield players. They got to keep it alive. One more shot. Kept it alive. Fossil brought it. Still in. Going to get one more chance to get it over the net, and they do. Fossil, the set, the spike. Oh, and it's spiked right into Chatfield defenders as it goes back onto the Fossil side. Point Chatfield.
Again, we're seeing success for Chatfield when Fossil spikes it because their defense has been playing so well recently at the net. They definitely need to try more of those tips.
Up by 4, Chatfield, the serve. Oh, yep, and it appears to have just barely grazed the court. I did not quite see if that hit the court or not, but apparently it was enough for the referees to call it.
Yeah, it's a very close call, and it's hard to do without an instant replay.
Just like every other sport, volleyball is a game of inches or millimeters, whichever term you prefer.
Yeah, Fossil looking to turn the tide there. They had a chance in the last play, but couldn't quite capitalize.
The serve, kept alive, looking for a spike, far side. Get it, deflected, kept alive by Fossil. Gonna just try and get it over, and they do. Chatfield looking for a big spike of their own. They get it, and kept alive, not for long, as Chatfield is able to find the sweet spot, put enough power on it, and just get another point for them as they are up 11-5.
Yeah, Chatfield's done a great job at finding a way around Fossil's wall of defenders that have been so effective in the recent games.
Myers to serve, and that is out of bounds. Another quick point for Fossil Ridge as they now go up 11-6.
A rare mistake on the serves for Kennedy Myers, but this gives Fossil an opportunity to kind of take the chance. And we do see Melanie Smith checking into the game. Hopefully they can get a little bit of offense through her.
And the serve is coming from number 8, Quinn Van Manen. And it's brought down. Chatfield gets a good bump, gets a spike, deflected, and just in on the Fossil side of the court. So that is point Chatfield. And just like that, the point is back onto Chatfield for the momentum as they now lead 12-6.
Yeah, down by 6 is not a place you like to be this early in the set, but hopefully Fossil can take this, string together points.
All right. Oh, and just what appears to have been a bad set to their teammate between Yiwon Su and Emma Grace Malamog, that appeared to be basically a free point for Chatfield.
Yeah, Yenwoo Su couldn't quite get under it, and she tried to still set it and wasn't quite low enough to pop the ball up there.
And that is another timeout for Fossil Ridge as they now trail 13-6. And it's been a real rough go. It's been a game of runs for Chatfield as they've been able to string together a couple points and then just run away with it from there.
Yeah, besides those 2 early points from Fossil, it's been a 4-13 run. And really Chatfield's defense and offense are just looking much more superior than Fossil.
Right now Fossil's got to come up with a concise game plan to fix some of these issues, because if they lose this second set, it is almost impossible to come back down 2-0, because you got to win all 3 sets, and the pressure's on you every single time you take the serve or defend the point.
Yeah, Fossil really just, they need to come up with some big plays. They need some people to kind of step up and lead this team, because right now everybody's making mistakes, and you need somebody to rise above at this point.
As we're coming out, we're going to see the serve from number 5, Emma Cheshire.
Last time she served, she was very, very successful. We'll see what she does here.
Right to Fossil. The set, the spike, deflected, nope, not kept alive. They're going to rule that hit the ground, as that is another point for Fossil Ridge, as they are able to get 1 point out of the timeout.
That's what we're talking about. Melanie Smith's offense is definitely the best on Fossil at this point. Been playing very, very well, besides a couple rough spots.
Serve from Fossil, kept alive by Chatfield, looking for a big spike, and that is in. Both deflected off a Fossil player, so it just kind of spun around aimlessly. Before that is another point for Chatfield, as Fossil's not allowed to put together any points.
Yeah, they'll get the serve, and then they won't be able to score after that. They really, really need to get a little bit of momentum.
Fossil's in desperate need of about a 5-0 run. And, oh, that's barely kept in by Fossil. A little bit of a scramble. Going to get a good chance out of it. Oh, that's an unlucky play as number 10, Melanie Smith, just banks it right off the net into her own face. That's a rough bounce. That's adding insult to injury.
A great bump, though, from Quinn Van Manen from far back in the court.
Another point for Chatfield as they take the serve. Bumped, set, and spiked, but kept alive by Chatfield. putting together a string of their own. Spiked once again into the open court. And there is another point for Chatfield as they once again are looking to go on a run.
Fossil's been definitely using the corners of the net a lot more for their spikes. I wonder if they'll change it up. This last point we did see number 16, Maya Sipple, try to attack the middle of the net.
Oh, and that's another botched spike by number 10, Melanie Smith, as that gives the Chatfield players a 10-point lead as they are up 17-7.
Melanie Smith really needs to get those spikes over the net and place them in the right spots.
Getting a chance for the spike. And it is out of bounds. Melanie Smith, once again, that's another faulty spike, as that is now an 18-7 lead for Chatfield.
This is not a good look for Fossil right now. This is a set that they really needed to win to give them a realistic chance. And right now it looks like it's slipping away from them.
You never like to see them in a hole, especially one this deep. Getting a chance. Maybe, and it's just barely over the net. Chatfield's going to get just a little sneaky play. But they're going to get a chance for the spike. Deflected off the Chatfield players, but it appears that they're going to have them hitting the net, it looks like. And so that is a point for Fossil Ridge as they now trail 18-8.
Good job by Melanie Smith to stick with her strengths. Even though she's been struggling a little bit so far this game, she stuck with it and got a point off of it.
Model Mog, the serve. Kept alive and just spiked down by Chatfield. It hit off of the Fossil players, but just not able to keep it alive. And so that is another point for Chatfield.
Yeah, they definitely need to try to elevate that ball to give them a chance, because right now it's not getting much elevation at all.
A spike from Fossil, kept alive by Chatfield. And now Chatfield able to get it up and over, but that is way out of bounds. You can see the celebration from Fossil before that even hit the ground.
Yeah, that was a great job. They were able to get some elevation right off the serve, set up the easy spike, and were able to score the point.
Serve by Melanie Smith, kept alive by Chatfield, looking for a spike. And it just tips off of Bella Kiefer on Fossil Ridge, and so that will be considered a point for Chatfield.
Yeah, that was really close. I couldn't tell if it was going to be in or out there. Good job going for it anyways, but just couldn't quite get under it.
Fossil looking to keep their 10-game win streak intact. The bump, looking for a set, spike. Oh, brought back, kept alive though. Fossil gonna get another shot at it. Right in front, middle of the net, and that is deflected out of bounds by Chatfield. And once again, it is 20-10. Fossil finds themselves in a hole by 10, looking to come out of that one.
They definitely have looked better the past few points. They aren't giving up strings of points to Chatfield. It's just been one here, two there.
Fossil with the serve. Chatfield looking for a spike. And that is just in. Just gets past number 9, Danielle Burchett, as that is another point for Chatfield High School.
That was a very good spike attacking the middle of the floor, which you haven't seen much from either team today, but we'll see if they increase that now that it was successful.
Oh, Fossil with a botched bump as it just barely hit on the out of bounds. And that is another Chatfield point as they go up 22-10. Serve again. Brought up. And that's another botched bump with a little bit of miscommunication, and that is now 23-10 Chatfield.
Chatfield definitely seems to be attacking the same spot on the floor and serves, and it's causing some miscommunication with Fossil and some messed up bumps.
Yep. Chatfield, the serve, kept alive. Gonna get a chance at it, maybe not a spike, just to get it over the net, and that is out of bounds. It is now set point for Chatfield.
This is not looking good for Fossil. I mean, you're down 14. Chances are quite slim right now. You can just hope to stay in it.
Fossil just gets it through the wickets of the defender, and that is a good spike by number. I don't believe we have her on the varsity roster, and so we will do our best to find number 6 on Fossil Ridge while we can. But that was a great spike by her, and she is looking to kind of start up Fossil Ridge's offense as the serve comes from number 4, Sydney Peterson. Oh, bit of miscommunication there by Chatfield, as there is an easy ace for Sydney Peterson.
Yeah, we've seen number 6 was having a hard time on the right side the past couple points, but on that last one, she was able to fit the spike in perfectly.
Chatfield gets it right, gets the spike, and that is inbounds. And there it is. There is the second set for Chatfield as they now go up 2-0 in fairly quick order.
Chatfield has been putting their spikes in very good spots, and Fossil has not been able to get to them in time. And that's really been a huge difference maker. Also, Chatfield's defense has been very, very good so far, not allowing the Fossil to get on any runs so far.
It's very interesting because records can be very deceiving, as Fossil was billed in as a 12-1 team opposed to Chatfield, who is only 7-4, who has shown complete dominance so far on the court.
Chatfield definitely has been the better team so far. Even though Fossil looked a little bit better on paper, Chatfield definitely has been playing like the better team, more experienced team. Their communication has been better, their spikes have been better, their defense has been better. Really, Fossil just needs to completely flip things on their head and play a little bit smarter.
And I'm looking at this Fossil team. What the biggest difference I see right now is communication. They aren't quite able to communicate between their setters and their bumpers on what's able to get them a proper spike play, and so they will need to try harder and try better on being able to, get some more communication and get the ball in the right places to get a nice spike here and there.
Chatfield also has 8 seniors, so these girls have been playing together for a long time. While Fossil only has 5, their team is definitely a bit more mixed because they have a lot of sophomores and juniors, while Chatfield is almost exclusively seniors.
Yes, Chatfield has got definitely the experience advantage, and especially in these big games against teams like Columbine and Mountain Vista, they've been in these big situations before and they know how to handle it.
Yeah, Fossil definitely needs to, definitely at a different disadvantage with the experience component of the game and with communication.
As we're looking to get set up here for the third set, and so while it is not entirely impossible for Fossil Ridge to come back, it's very doubtful.
Can we find out who number 6 is? Because she's not on the roster, but she's on Fossil.
She's on Fossil, number 6?
Yeah.
And so what's very interesting is that, as we saw last set, number 6 on Fossil Ridge, we do not have her number because she's on the JV team most of the time. But that is part of the expanded rosters as a part of the COVID rules, as they are allowed 14 players as opposed to the 12 as a maximum, along with 4 essential team personnel. But you're only allowed a total of 12 chairs on your bench, along with 18 people on your team. It's interesting because they've now modified the season from 14 down to 10 weeks and reducing travel, including limiting out-of-league games. And all regionals will occur by the end of Saturday, May 1st, and will be reduced to the 24 teams we talked about earlier. Seeding will be done via CHASA method, and there are no wildcards. Only the 8 regional winners will advance to the state tournament.
It's a very interesting setup. Emma Grace Modelmog right now is averaging 8.3 sets a game. Is averaging 8.3 assists a set, which is nearly every third point that would be scored for Fossil, which is very impressive.
Yes, and now on the bench is number 6, Amy Smith, who is actually the sister of Melanie Smith, who we've seen get some action earlier, and they might play her if they get into another hole again. Speaking of the Smiths, number 10, Melanie Smith, looking to take the serve to start this set. Just gets over the net. Chatfield able to save it. Going to get a spike, and they do. And it just goes over the net, kept alive. Fossil going to get a spike here. Grove. And that is in. What a great spike by Nicole Grove for Fossil Ridge.
That was a great point by Fossil. They weren't able to get this set, but the bump by Emma Grace Modelmog was incredible, and Grove put it in the perfect spot.
Looking to keep up the success. Smith the serve. Chatfield, spike of their own. And that is out. And that is another point for Fossil Ridge.
Fossil last time scored 2 points to begin the set, but right now they just want to keep with it. They do not want to let up off the gas while you have the lead.
Need to keep this momentum going. Smith. Oh, and it just barely goes over the net. What a smart play to find the soft zone.
That was a very, very nice serve by Melanie Smith. Not her typical hard serve, but it found the right spot, and it surprised Chatfield, and they were not prepared for it.
Gonna get the serve again. Chatfield. Gonna get a clean spike, just tips in. Kept alive. Chatfield. Gonna get a spike again. And that is a monster spike by number 5, Ella Tashur, who's been a beast around the net this entire game.
She's definitely been very, very effective on that outside corner. And she's got a lot of spikes from there where Fossil's just been a little bit behind on defense.
Chatfield the serve. Kept alive by Fossil. Gonna get a chance to get it over the net. And just not able to. Not enough power put into that final spot, as that was just botched all around from Fossil Ridge.
Yes, Nicole Grove looked like she was trying to put it in a spot where Chatfield couldn't get it, but couldn't quite get it in the right spot.
And now they're going to get a clean spike opportunity, as it appears to have ricocheted off the Chatfield players, and that is a point for Fossil Ridge High School.
That's really good. Number 8, Quinn Van Manen, has done a great job all season long at really putting those spikes where defenders, even when they block it, can't get it back over the net.
The serve from Kiefer. Chatfield barely keeps it alive. The spike, kept alive by Melanie Smith. The spike from Grove. And just outside, looking for that same spot she got earlier, but not able to find the sweet one, as that is a point for Chatfield.
That was well set up from Fossil, though. You can't complain with anything but the spike. They definitely did a good job there. That's what you want to see. Even when you lose the point, it's a good sign.
Yep. 4-3 Fossil. Chatfield to serve. Kept alive. The bump. Oh, just barely. Oh, it looks like, okay, they're going to get Chatfield off of the net as they just reached over the net, and that is going to be a point for Fossil Ridge.
That was a very good job by Fossil, just staying in the point. Sometimes it's not pretty, but if you can stay in the point, that's all you can ask for.
The more mistake Chatfield makes, the better chance they have. Number 4, Sydney Peterson. Chatfield, a little bit of a botch. Not going to get a clean spike out of it, but they get it off. Now, clean spike opportunity for Fossil. Kept alive by Chatfield, a little bit in the open space. Going to get a chance out of it. Oh, and it's just tipped up and over by Peterson, as that's another point.
Sydney Peterson looked like she was a little bit behind on that one and couldn't quite get it straight up. And because she popped it up partway, Bella Kiefer could not get the dig on that one.
Chatfield's Tashur is going to take the serve here. Just digged out barely. Tipped over the net by number 15, Emma Grace Modelmog, in a great maneuver.
That is a great heads-up play from Modelmog. We've seen number 5 on Chatfield, Ella Tashur, do a great job when she's serving, so it's good that Fossil could break that streak.
Oh, just tips off the net, but kept alive. Chatfield, the spike, kept alive by Kiefer. The spike of their own, kept alive once again. Fossil's going to get one chance to get it over the net, and they do. Chatfield going to get maybe not a spike. A good play, playing around the net. A spike here from Fossil, as that is in for, that appeared to have been number 10, Melanie Smith, once again.
Fossil's playing very clean volleyball right now. They aren't making a lot of mistakes, and I think all the momentum that Chatfield had going into this set is now gone.
Fossil now takes the lead 7-4 with the serve. Kept alive, and that's just a botched play by the libero for Chatfield, number 1, Kennedy Myers, and that allows Fossil to double them up 8-4.
Looks like Myers and Tashur had a little bit of a miscommunication about who was going for the ball, and that caused a mistake.
It appears that we've gotten a botched serve, but it's caused a little bit of communication on the Fossil sideline, as they didn't see anything wrong with it.
Not 100% sure what happened there, but number 11, Mia Conrad, for Chatfield, the freshman, is going to be serving.
Fossil cannot allow Chatfield to come back whatsoever. This is their season on the line right here. The far serve, spike, and that's a huge spike from Melanie Smith, as they will get the serve back up 9-5.
That was a phenomenal spike in the perfect spot. Number 5, Ella Tashur, has been very, very pivotal in returning those spikes. Wasn't able to get under the ball and bump it to her teammates.
The serve, Chatfield. Gonna get a spike chance, and they do, and that just barely finds the back corner. And that
looks like Fossil thought it might be out as they let up and did not go for it, but it was a good serve. Spike, excuse me.
And now it is 9-6 Fossil, but Chatfield has the serve. Kept alive, barely. It's just at the net, and it's just brought over by Chatfield as they score another point.
Yeah, there's 2 of Chatfield's players against Modelmog, and she wasn't quite able to get it over them.
Now Fossil. And that is out. And there goes the momentum as Fossil is able to get the serve back, currently up 10-7.
Yeah, Chatfield has definitely changed a little bit. They're making more mistakes. They might have gotten a little bit cocky with their lead. They need to settle down and score some points.
Monomog, the good serve. Just barely kept alive. They might get a chance to get it over, and it just barely goes over. Fossil's going to get a great chance here. Grove, the spike, finds the soft spot once again as Grove, with another great spike, puts Fossil up 11-7.
They've been attacking number 1, Kennedy Myers, so far, and it's been working out very well. They've attacked her on serves, they've attacked her on spikes, and so far it's been working out very well for Fossil as they have an 11-7 lead.
And that is a timeout for Chatfield as they are taking some time to keep everything going.
Yes, Fossil's only loss this season came to Easton High School and was a 3-0 set blowout. Eaton is currently undefeated, 14-0, and they're really a powerhouse in Colorado volleyball.
Yep, found at one of the lower levels at 3A. Eaton has been shown to be absolutely dominant for a smaller school, and it's a lot of key things to take away from that game to put into this one, as once again, Fossil was swept 3-0, and they're looking to avoid that same fate here.
Yeah, Yenwoo Su is number 10 in the nation in blocks at the net. That just speaks to her defense, that it is very, very good.
Monomog, the serve. Kept alive by Chatfield. Not going to get a clean spike. Just tipped over, but brought back by Fossil. Oh, just tipped again. That is a great play by number 10, Melanie Smith, using her height to her advantage to get the point.
That was a good play, too, by Maya Sipple, who the tip before was they're just playing very aggressive at the net.
Now up by 5. Monomog with the serve. Kept alive by Chatfield. Gonna get a spike. And it's just tipped at the net by Fossil Ridge as they score another point to take a 13-7 lead.
Nicole Grove has been so good on this right side so far, and it has scored very many points for Fossil this set even.
Monomog hoping for another good serve. And gets it, but Chatfield's gonna have a chance. Not gonna be deflected, but kept alive by Fossil. Gonna get a spike, and they get it. And that is a great spike by number 16, Maya Sipple.
Right now, Emma Modelmog is communicating very, very well with her hitters, and they are really putting the hammer down on Chatfield.
The serve once again. Gonna be at the net. Oh, just tipped over, but kept alive. Chatfield looking for a better opportunity, and they get it. Just tipped over, and that is going to be a Chatfield point as they finally are able to get 1 point once again.
Chatfield just trying to hang in this set. They don't want to let Fossil come anywhere near a comeback because, as we know, Fossil is used to playing behind.
Chatfield's looking for another big comeback as they have gotten in the first set and somewhat in the second set. The spike. Nicole Grove puts enough power to get it past the defenders of Chatfield as she just throws the hammer down and gets Fossil back to serve.
That was also a great dig by Quinn Van Manen, just able to, even though it hit the net, adjust while she was falling down and bump it perfectly to her teammates. Melanie
Smith, the serve, brought in. Chatfield's gonna get a chance, and they just rocket that in. That appears to have been number 5, once again, Ellie Tashur, who has put on an absolute clinic when it comes to spiking the ball. She has probably been the best player so far in this game.
Ellie Tashur definitely seems like the best player on the court, whether it's serving, spiking, or defense for that matter.
And Fossil just barely gets it over. Gonna get a chance for the spike. Tashur once again, and she gets it. Deflected off a Fossil player, out of bounds. As Chatfield finds themselves only down by 5.
Chatfield is definitely trying to work all the way through Ella Tashur, so Fossil definitely needs to find a way to key in on her.
And Fossil not just gonna get it cleanly over, and it deflects off of number 9, Ella Faramis, for the easy point as they are now up 16-10 with the serve.
That was a really good job by Melanie Smith. It's a risky move to spike it when you're that far back, but she was able to put it in a good spot.
Belkey for the serve. Kept alive. Looking for a spike. Oh, deflected out of bounds by Nicole Grove. A good play at the net, just couldn't keep it in bounds. As that's another point for Chatfield.
Yeah, that was a very good spike and good job being there by Grove. She hasn't played a huge role in the past game, but right now she's playing a huge role for Fossil.
Deflected up. Chatfield's keeping it alive. Gonna get a spike chance. Sure, just tips it. Fossils, spike chance of their own, just tips it over. No spike, seeing a lot of tipping going on here, but there's a spike, kept in bounds. Kept alive by Kiefer. A little bit of miscommunication. Just looking to get it over for Chatfield, and they do. Fossils now looking to calm things down. Get a giant spike. Nicole Grove, and it tips off the Chatfield player, and that's a point for Fossil Ridge.
Great point by both sides, especially by Fossil. They were just able to keep with the point the entire way and get a lot of clean spikes and tips.
An ovation for Nicole Grove as she comes off the court after playing a great first part of the set as Fossil looks to expand on their 17-11 lead. Kept alive. Chatfield is going to get a shot at it. Kept alive by Kiefer. Going to get a spike chance. Number 8, Maya Sipple. Pardon me, that was number 8. Danielle Burchett, but kept alive. Modelmog, the set, the bump. The spike once again from Burchett. Kept alive. Still in the air. One more chance for Fossil. Just goes over the net. Chatfield's going to get another chance. Deflected by Modelmog. Kept alive by Peterson. Modelmog. The set to Burchett. Kept alive by Chatfield. Chatfield's going to get another chance. The spike. Oh, hits. And it's still alive. Fossil Ridge just playing good ball. Chatfield, once again, is going to get a shot. Kept alive. Great dig by number 1, Bella Kiefer. Bella Kiefer again. What a great play. Burchett just barely gets it over. Kept alive by Chatfield. Chatfield, the spike from Toucher. Kept alive. Number 10. Once again, Burchett, the spike. Oh, and it just goes back onto the Fossil end. What a great back and forth play for about a minute there by both squads.
What an impressive point. Either team could have won that 3 or 4 times, but the other team just returned it right back over the net. Great play by both teams there.
You just got to hope that this is not a turning point for Fossil Ridge. They are still up by 5, but now the serve in the hands firmly of Chatfield.
Ella Toucher serving. She's been very good serving so far. Has only had one that went under 5 points.
Oh, kept alive by Kiefer. Brought in. Looking to just get it over Peterson, and they do. But now, Chatfield's going to get a chance. The spike, out. Good call there as Fossil just lets that go out as they now have 18-12 lead.
This is a good lead for Fossil, and losing that second set was a blow, but if they can win this set in the next one, it's an even playing field.
Burchett, the star of the last point, brought back. Looking for a spike, and it's kept alive, though, by Fossil Ridge. Going to keep it alive once again. Number 10, kept alive. Once again, just tipped over, but it's kept alive by Fossil Ridge. Melanie Smith, the tip over, just kept alive. Going to get one more chance at it. Chatfield keeps it in. Going to look for a big spike here. Fossil Ridge just tips it over, but it appears to have hit the net. That is another point as one of the Chatfield players hit the net.
That was a great effort by Fossil Ridge right there. They have done a phenomenal job this third set in just staying in points. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be the typical way, but they have been just playing a lot better ball.
And now, looks like we've got another timeout. I can't see which team it's from. Either way, it's going to give these players some well-deserved rest as as Fossil's currently up 19-12.
This third set has been very competitive. Even though Fossil has a 7-point lead, it has been very competitive. Both sides have been hitting the ball well, spiking well, playing defense well. It's been very entertaining to watch.
And it's been a very long set, too. You've seen a lot of great points from both sides and a lot of long points that have been just competitive games so far.
It's been very competitive set. The second set was definitely dominated by Chatfield, while the first set was pretty close. But definitely Fossil has been playing a little bit better this set, even though Chatfield's still playing their best ball.
Yes. It appears that Chatfield's got a lot of tall, strong players that they've been able to take advantage of the athleticism with. And so Fossil's had to get more creative and crafty with more of their points.
You also have to wonder if number 5 on Chatfield, because they've been playing so much through her, if she's going to start slowing down as this game progresses. And if she is, that could really hurt Chatfield.
And here we go. The serve from number 8, Quinn Van Manen. Kept alive by Toucher of Chatfield. She's going to just tip it over too. Now they're going to get a spike chance. Fossil, number 10, Melanie Smith, kept alive by Chatfield, just over. Bella Kiefer. The set by Modelmog. The spike, kept alive. Chatfield's going to get another spike chance. And they just keep it alive, and there it goes. Sydney Pearson tried to keep it alive, but just couldn't direct it quite in the right way, and that's 13-19 Chatfield.
One underrated player this entire game has been Bella Kiefer. She has been playing very, very well, has had a lot of great digs for Fossil.
Made some great underrated plays in terms of just being able to take the ball at full force. And here we go, the serve by Chatfield. Kept alive. Here comes the set, the spike, and it just tips off the defenders. That was number 17, Yi-Won Soo, the setter, as they were able to get a big point there, as it's now 20-13 Fossil Ridge.
That was a great adjustment by Yeon-Woo Soo, because it was a little bit behind her, but she was able to adjust and get a great spike.
As she serves it now, kept alive by Chatfield. Gonna get a spike here, and the spike is successful. Finds the soft spot. That is number 9, Ella Faramis. The pair of Ellas, Faramis and Tashur, have put on a clinic so far today.
They've definitely been the focal point of Chatfield's offense and defense. And if either one of them starts to slow down, it could hurt Chatfield, but right now they're firing on all cylinders.
Fossil, the spike, Melanie Smith kept alive. Gonna get another chance at it. Melanie Smith again, just tipped over the net. Chatfield's gonna get a shot. And it just goes over the net. Oh no, just an unfortunate play from Quinn Van Manen. As it hits her hand, it goes to the back of the gym.
That was a good play by number 12, Hayden Nash, to get it over the net in a spot that was tough for Fossil.
And it is now 20-15 Fossil with the serve from Chatfield. And that is in bounds as it just barely hit. Fossil players thought that was going to go out, but just able to find the sweet spot as Fossil takes a timeout up 20-16.
That was very, very close. Looked like it could have gone either way, but Chatfield gets the call there.
Yep. And so even the Fossil players knew that one was just in and that it was just so very close. Some of those are hard to tell once you get right close to the line like that.
You have to give a lot of credit to the referees who have done a phenomenal job so far making the right calls.
Yep. And so right now, Fossil, even though they're up 20-16, there's got to be at least a little bit of doubt in the way that Chatfield's been able to come back so far if they can secure this third set.
Yeah, Fossil just needs to get a couple of little runs. They just need to score like 3 points in a row here to really seal the deal for this set and stay in the game. And it looks like that's what they're planning on doing. Wouldn't be surprised if Melanie Smith has a couple big spikes here in these next few points.
It's important to take this first point after you call a timeout. That's what allowed Chatfield to come back multiple times. The serve from Chatfield. Fossil, the dig, the tip, the spike, and that is a big spike by number 16, Maya Sipple.
That was an incredible play that from start to finish from Fossil. We saw the good bump, the good set, and the good spike all in one go.
Yep. And so here we go. We're going to get another one from Fossil Ridge. Modelmog. Oh, just got a little bit of luck there as it hit off the net and off the Chatfield player, and that is another point for Fossil Ridge.
Can't ask for better luck than that, just to alter its direction just enough to get the point.
Now, Modelmog once again with the serve. Just barely kept alive, but not for long, as that is another point for Fossil Ridge High School.
Again, they're attacking Kennedy Myers very well, the libero for Chatfield.
Modelmog once again. And that is just out of bounds. That is another point. 24-16, Fossil Ridge.
Her serves have been phenomenal so far. They first attacked the libero Kennedy Myers, and then the freshman, Mia Conrad.
Oh, and that one just goes into the net. An anticlimactic set point as now Chatfield with the point and now with the serve. Chatfield down 17-24, still in set point territory.
Need one more point to seal the deal for this third set.
Serve from Chatfield. The bump, the set, the spike, and that is in. Number 10, Melanie Smith, just like you predicted, with a big spike to take the first set for Fossil Ridge High School as they now trail 2-1.
Such a fitting end to the third set that was really dominated by Fossil's offense more than their defense, and can't complain with that ending.
Being able to get more off on the offensive point than just being forced to play on the defense the entire time got to their advantage. They were able to finally take one set.
Yeah, you saw way fewer missed spikes, because in the first couple of sets, especially the second set, their spikes were all over the place. And this set, we saw Nicole Grove step up. We saw Melanie Smith step up just like they needed to. Gave Fossil the set, keep them in the game.
as now Fossil is down 2-1 as they look to complete this 3-set comeback. The only thing you got to think is just take it one set at a time. Don't look at the big picture. Don't think about everything you need to do. Just look at it as taking it one step at a time and just quickly and pacing yourself in a sense and just slowly being able to come back. Everything is worth 1 point, you know?
Yes, I'm curious if we'll see Marissa Ogimachi, Hannah Quillen, or Kenzie Hicks, who none of them have played so far in the game. It's been mainly these core players for Fossil playing so far. I'm curious if they'll bring in these players for some fresh legs.
I'm curious if we see number 6, Amy Smith, once again, the junior varsity player who was only seen for about 2 or 3 points in the middle of that desperate second set for Fossil Ridge.
She did have a very good spike that turned the tide for a couple of points for Fossil. We'll see if they try to utilize her again to get those good spikes on the edge.
And now if you're Chatfield, you're looking at this, you blew that 3-0 sweep, but now you still find yourself in the driver's seat up 2-1.
Chatfield definitely still is in the position to win. They just need to a little bit slow down and definitely need to play through their best players. I think one difference, Fossil, is they targeted certain players on Chatfield versus Chatfield's incredible pair of Ella Tashur and then,
Number 9, Ella Faramis.
Number 9, Ella Faramis, yes.
The pair of Ellas have looked extremely good so far.
They have really been dominating the floor for Chatfield, especially Ella Tashur, who has just been incredible both on spikes and on defense.
They are both very tall ladies indeed. I do not want to guess their height, but I'm going to say somewhere just over 6 foot as they both appear to tower on both sides of the net.
They definitely have an advantage over a lot of other players. I think Yen Woo Soo matches up very well against him as she is number 10 in the nation in blocks.
Yeah. Yuan Soo has been very good offensively. You haven't seen as many spikes, as many deflections from her, and so you look to see some more blocks from her in these last 2 sets, hopefully.
We did see in the game against Fruta Monument that she was key in their victory. She was blocking everything and playing extremely well. But we've seen here that Chatfield spikers have just been a little bit better, and she's been a little bit of a non-factor so far.
And we're getting ready to start this 4th set. Chatfield leading 2-1.
Maddie Folks serving, a senior. She's hoping to lead her team to a few points to begin this set.
And the serve. The dig from Fossil. The spike by Burchett, and it's just on the Chatfield side as that is 1-0 lead for Fossil Ridge.
We've seen this again and again this season where her spikes are so hard, Quinn Van Manens, that the defenders, even when they get their hands up to block it, that they aren't able to stop the ball from crossing the net.
And here we go, Bella Kiefer with the serve for Fossil. Oh, and it just tips off of number 11, the freshman, the freshman Mia Conrad for Chatfield, and now Fossil takes a 2-0 lead.
Again, they're attacking the freshman on the serve, trying to make her make a play versus their top players, the Ellas.
Looking to get it as far back as possible, and they do once again, but it's kept alive by Conrad. The spike, and that is a good spike by number 9, Ella Faramis, who is just putting on a clinic today.
She has been playing very well so far, and that was a good job by Conrad adjusting to that even tougher serve that came to her.
And now Faramis with a serve of her own. A little bit of an adjustment made, but Fossil gets it in. Grove, kept alive by the team, and once again, kept alive. Fossil looking for another spike. Number 8, kept alive by Chapel. And that's another point for Fossil Ridge as Chatfield is just not able to come up with it.
A rare mistake from Ella Tashur, hitting it into the net. Didn't have any help to bump it up again. Good job by Fossil there.
And this is going to be number 4, Sydney Peterson, who is going to once again take the serve here.
She's been playing pretty well so far.
And there we go. Looking for a clean spike here, and they're going to get it far side. Just tipped over. Good play by Yiwon Soo. And once again, kept alive by Fossil. The tip up, the spike by Yiwon Soo, and it's in.
What an adjustment. That was a little bit of a low set, but Yiwon Soo, we've seen 2 or 3 times in the past couple games that she has adjusted very well and put it back in a spot that Chatfield had no chance to get to.
Yep. And the set, that is out by Sydney Peterson, and that is a free point for Chatfield.
Fossil Ridge is still up 4-2. It's early in the set, though. They just need to keep on this momentum that they have.
And so it looks like Chatfield is going to look to take the serve with their libero, number 1, Kennedy Myers. As we go on the referee's whistle, here we are. And it's brought in, kept alive. Fossil Ridge looking for a spike here. They get it, but it's kept alive. Chatfield not going to get a clean spike, but they get it over. Fossil Ridge going to get a big spike there, and Yuan Su, and that is another point for Fossil Ridge.
That was another great adjustment as she spiked it on the move. She's been very impressive now that she's been brought back in this 4th set.
Very, very nice play from Fossil Ridge so far. And so here we go. That's going to be a number served by number 8, Quinn Van Manen. Kept alive. Going to get not a spike here, but just keeping it alive. Fossil Ridge going to get a spike of their own. Numbers 10, Melanie Smith. And, that's one too many hit. That was a great play by the Chatfield player to keep it alive with their foot, but just not able to get it over the net.
I was very impressive to just get your foot there in time. A very unorthodox play that nearly worked. Props to Chatfield.
And here we go. Fossil Ridge, though, with the serve again. Kept alive. Going to get a clean spike here as it's deflected off the Fossil players. And that is another point for Chatfield. This is now 6-3 Fossil early on in this 4th set.
A good spike by Chatfield to get it off the side of Fossil's hands to pop it out of bounds. Ella Tashur to serve.
Yep. Here we are. Kept alive by Fossil. Fossil's going to spike it. Di-Won Su just out of bounds. Good attempt, just couldn't quite get all of it as it is now 6-4 Fossil Ridge.
It looked to be in a good spot. It was just a little bit too far out of bounds. But if it had kept on that line, been a little bit short, it would have been a great spike.
Yep. Tashur once again to serve. Barely kept alive by Fossil. A little bit of miscommunication at the net as that is a point for Chatfield.
Chatfield again with Tashur serving are making a run.
Tashur has been very impressive regardless of whether or not it's not at the net or behind the line. And here she goes again with the serve. Kept alive. Fossil, the spike. And that is out of bounds. Melanie Smith just couldn't quite find the spot as it is now a 6-6 tie in this crucial 4th set.
Yeah, just like that, Chatfield is going on a run and tying it up again. Fossil still has a good chance at this set, but they really need to score here.
Kept alive. Oh, and that's out of bounds. Just couldn't quite get enough on that bump. And there is a timeout for Fossil Ridge.
Little bit of a mistake there by Sydney Peterson. She's had a couple struggles today with a little bit of struggles with her bumps and her spikes today. But they look to improve off that. So right now Chatfield's on a 5-0 run and looking to capitalize on this and continue that run to win the set and win the game and send themselves to the state tournament. We also see that Fossil right now is getting talked to by their coach, Julene Mousebar. And so they're hoping to kind of change the tide right here, get the momentum back. We see Peterson in the game, Van Manen in the game. We have Kiefer, Model Mog, and Yenwoo Su, and also Melanie Smith. These are all core players that have played a big role in this game so far, and we hope to see them keep up what they did in the 3rd set and take the victory. One problem that Fossil still has is Ella Tashur is still serving. They really need to get her out of that spot because she's been so effective with her serve so far. The serve's up, and it's a short serve. Great dig by Peterson, making up for her mistake. Pop backed up. And not quite sure what happened there. It's on Melanie Smith. And it's a point for Chatfield. And so Ella Tashur gets to keep serving. Fossil really needs to break this serve right here. We'll see if they can do it here. Good bump. And the set goes over by Model Mog, and they go to spike it. Great dig to get it over. Blocked Yenwoo Su. Again, and a miscommunication Great effort by Fossil, but Chatfield was just able to come up with it, and they're continuing their run, which is now 7-0. 7-0 run led by Ella Tashur, excuse me. Here's a serve. The serve goes to Van Manen. Back over, blocked by Modelmog. Great play. And that one goes into the net, and Fossil finally breaks the serve and get the ball back. What a great job by Modelmog to get up there 1v1 and come out on top. Yenwoo Su to serve. And good adjustment there. Hard serve, and it is in. That was a great serve by Emma Cartwright. A great spot. Looks like Fossil thought it might be out, so they let it go, but it was in. Great spot for Chatfield. Now the freshman to serve, number 11, Mia Conrad. And there's the serve. Peterson bumps it. Modelmog sets it, and Smith spikes it. Return popped up by Conrad. And Fossil gets it back. A spike at the net, and they score. Modelmog to Sipple, and Sipple spiked it right against the blockers and was able to get the point for Fossil. Fossil now only down by 2, 8-10, and Modelmog serving. Last time she served, she was dominant. And they're attacking Conrad once again off the serve. Oh, great save by Van Manen. Smith tips it over, not quite able to get it far enough. Fossil with the ball back. Spike, bopped back up by Fossil. Spike again by Smith. And back to Fossil once again, back and forth. The tip, and they score. Great point by Nicole Grove, as she was able to tip it over and mess up the timing of Chatfield to take the lead down to 1, 9-10. Great point by both sides.
That's a huge point for Fossil Ridge as Modelmog gets ready to serve. Kept alive. Chatfield looking for his spike, not going to get it, but kept alive. Fossil, spike of their own. Get it. That is a point for number 16, Maya Sipple.
That's the second of the last 2 points where Sipple's been the focal point, was able to get that spike in right past their defenders.
And now, tie game, Modelmog the serve. Kept alive, but that is just barely in bounds. What a rough play.
Yeah, we've seen Fossil all night long attacking the freshman, and that time she made him pay by having a great spot right on the line.
Fossil was perfectly content to let that hit the floor, but unfortunately it was just barely inside the line. The serve, Chatfield. Fossil, just great play by Modelmog. The spike just kept alive by Chatfield. Spike of their own, deflected at the net, but unfortunately that's going to go out on Fossil's side. 12-10 Chatfield.
Good spike by Chatfield, and able to send it out of bounds, but a good job by Modelmog. She covered a lot of ground on that set.
Chatfield to serve once again. It's a line drive, but kept alive. Modelmog brought up, just kept alive by Chatfield. The first spike of their own. You sure, Ella? Oh, that's a tough play as Ella Usher, number 5, Ella Tashur, put together a great play to now put them up 13-10.
Now we see they've switched Melanie Smith to the opposite side for Fossil on this close side. We'll see what she does here.
Bella Kiefer just brought over the net, but this is going to give a great chance for Chatfield as it just goes back on their own side. A little bit of miscommunication, but brought back over. Just trying to keep it alive, and that is out of bounds. Just creeps over the net and out of bounds. That's a point for Fossil Ridge High School.
A great heads-up play, too, even though you had no set to spike it down on the other team while they weren't prepared. Chatfield actually did a good job getting their hands up, but they weren't able to get it back over the net.
A little bit of a sloppy play from both teams, but just able to keep it alive. And that's a great ace by number 10, Melanie Smith, to put together a great spike to just keep it, to make it a 1-point game for Fossil Ridge.
A storyline that just continues to grow in these past 2 sets have been they're attacking the freshmen on the serves, as they've now put the freshmen in the far back.
And once again, the spike. Oh, barely kept alive. Can Bella Kiefer get to it? She can. Chance to get it over the net. Modelmog, and it does. Chatfield now, but gonna get, oh my word. What a great play by Chatfield. They were looking for the spike, but they faked him out enough to find the open space.
Yeah, there was a huge open space, and Maddie Folks noticed that and put it right over, right in the gap. Although it was a great return by Fossil on the play before.
2-point lead for Chatfield on the serve. Kept alive by Fossil. Spike, no, set by Monomog. The spike Grove, kept alive by the freshman, but out of bounds for Chatfield. That is a point for Fossil Ridge.
That was a very good job. You could see them calling the sign of the play beforehand, and it worked out just as they had planned. Great play by Fossil.
Yep. Number 1, Bella Keefe with the serve. Kept alive, looking for a big spike here, far side. Oh, great play by Fossil to keep it alive. Just over the net. Fossil Ridge keeping it in. Spike! And that is in! Great play by number 17, Yuo Su.
Fossil is turning this set around. After Chatfield went on the huge 7-0 run, they have totally flipped the script and are playing incredibly well right now.
Now got a tie game at 14. Bella Kiefer just tips it. Oh, and that's a huge spike by Yeon Woo Soo once again with back-to-back spikes on back-to-back plays.
This is incredible job by Yeon Woo Soo, who is generally a defensive player. She's taken control of the offense and really gotten them the past couple points.
Kiefer once again to serve. Just barely in. Looking to keep it alive. Chatfield just gets it over the net. Kiefer. Monomog the set. Number 8. Oh, that's a great defensive play by number 5, Ella Tashur, to spike it back into the face of the Fossil players. And we're now once again tied at 15 with the serve going to Chatfield.
That was Tashur and Abby Angel, number 14, the sophomore, who were there to block the spike and return it right back.
Fair missed the serve. Kept alive, Fossil. The spike, Ewon Soo, and that is in, just barely in. That is a great play by Fossil Ridge. And there we go. They once again have the lead 16-15 and the serve.
Looks like Chatfield thought that was out of bounds, but the ref called it in. And so Fossil gets the point and takes the lead for the first time in a while in this set, 16-15.
Sydney Peterson coming on for the serve. And it's brought in. Looking for a big spike here, far side. And that was Ella Fairmiss. That's a good point for Chatfield to keep it a tie game. We've seen a lot of momentum be shifting back and forth over these last 5 or so points.
Yeah, that was a good job by Chatfield. Just straight up, great effort.
16-16, the serve Chatfield. Bella Kiefer keeps it alive. Just barely set it over. Kept alive though by Chatfield. Gonna get another shot. Just gets it over. Tipped. Fossil gonna get a spike. Ewon Soo. Kept alive though. Kept in. Fossil Ridge gonna get another spike. Far side. Quinn Van Manen kept alive though. Just barely. And that is in still. And that is finally out on Chatfield. Now it is 17-16 Fossil.
One of the most impressive points we've seen in any of the sets so far. We saw great offense and great defense and just guts in that play.
Timeout by Chatfield. That was a great play by number 10, Melanie Smith, to react to that coming back at her own face and just get it deflected up into the air.
It was very, very impressive to see that. And right now, Fossil, after going on that 0-7 run, like Chatfield just dominated them, they have flipped the script, and it's looking very good. We see Emma Modelmog getting some one-on-one teaching from the assistant coaches right now. She's definitely a focal point of their offense.
Modelmog has looked very good, being the primary setter the entire game, and has looked very, very solid in her role.
She is also only a sophomore, so she has a lot of years left with Fossil and hopefully can lead them to a state tournament.
Given that if Fossil were to lose this game, no hope given, they've still got a lot of young players in terms of a couple sophomores and one freshman on the varsity team. We've got plenty of room to grow.
Fossil definitely has some younger players where Chatfield, if they don't make it to the tournament this year, they're losing 8 of their varsity players, which is well over half their roster. So they definitely want to capitalize this season and make it to the tournament.
And number 10, Melanie Smith, going to be taking the serve. It appears, as we're getting a little bit of discussion from the referees, the Fossil player, and the scorekeeper. And so it turns out it's going to be number 4, Sydney Peterson, who is taking the serve. It appears that we are all, no, we've still got a little bit of discussion on the Fossil sideline, and it turns out it's going to be number 8, Quinn Van Manen, to take the set.
Quinn Van Manen's serves have been very effective. Last week against Pooter, she served about 7 or 8 points in a row. and very effective in her serving.
As we're still getting things worked out when it comes to scorecards and such. And it looks like we've got some understanding from the referees. And we're all set to go. Van Manen, the serve. Brought in. Gonna get a shot at it. Oh, and it just deflects off the Fossil players. And that is a huge point for Chatfield.
Man, this is a back and forth set, 17-17. Both teams have had the lead 2 or 3 times. Very exciting to watch.
Ella Tashur, who just got that last point, is going to look to make a great serve here. And it's kept in. Sydney Peterson. The set, Yuwon Su. Deflected inside, and that is a great point for Fossil Ridge.
That could not have come at a better time because, as we know, Ella Tashur has dominated the serves, and Yenwoo Su was able to come up very clutch and only let her serve once and not even get a point out of it.
Yenwoo Su with her own serve. Deflected up. We're going to get Fairness on the far side. Kept alive by Melanie Smith, but out of bounds, unfortunately. A little bit of a bad bounce for Fossil Ridge, as it's still tied with 18 apiece.
Now we see with the clean points that Chatfield and Fossil are just not really playing very well right now, or cleanly right now. They're just playing with a lot of guts, and it's working out well for both teams.
A lot of power being put on a lot of these plays. Oh, just barely kept alive. Gonna get maybe a good spike. Oh, but Melanie Smith just kind of deflects it right into the net as Chatfield takes a 1-point lead with the serve.
Their freshman, Mia Conrad, is serving.
This is gonna be a big point. This could decide the entire set and the entire match. Just barely kept alive. Fossil, gonna get one more set at it. Smith, deflected off the players of Chatfield, and it just hits in the middle of everybody. Point for Fossil Ridge.
Melanie Smith comes back after having a rough spike on the last one that went right into the middle of the net. She spiked in a perfect spot, and Chatfield was not able to return it.
Yep, that is another point for Fossil Ridge High School. It's tied 19. Monomog, the serve, found the soft spot. Gonna look for a big spike, and it is deflects off a Fossil player, and that is a point once again for
Chatfield.
Chatfield, correct, thank you.
Chatfield taking out their libero as they're up by 1. Very close game.
Yes, indeed. Oh, just barely. Fossil, and that might not be over. And it's just some confusion at the net as, once again, Chatfield's up 21-19.
Take the lead by 2. Fossil calling a timeout. This is really their last hope. This is where they need to win these points.
Yep, they just need to put together a couple points because this is 2 straight points that Chatfield's been able to put together, and I got a feeling if they're able to get one more point in a row, they might just run away with this final set.
Yeah, if Fossil can just stay in it for a little bit longer and keep it close until the very end and then take the lead, then they'll have a final set. But right now they are definitely in the loser's position. But if they can flip the script like they have a couple times so far, where by winning the 3rd set and coming back in this set, they definitely have a chance to win this game.
If they can put together 3 straight points to go up 22-21, that puts them in a very safe spot.
They definitely need to focus their offense as in comes Nicole Groves, who has been pivotal in these past 2 sets for Fossil on offense. She's played incredibly well.
I would not be surprised if they go to her on this first playback.
She's playing on the far side. Contrary to usual, we'll see if that plays a difference.
And the serve from Chatfield. Kept alive by Kiefer. The set. Smith. Oh, and that is out of bounds. It tiptoes across the net as Chatfield deflected it, but it just goes out of bounds, and that is Fossil Ridge's point as they are now down by 1.
That was a great play from Fossil. Even though Chatfield was able to get up there was so much spin on it. It went out of bounds.
Melanie Smith, the serve, just barely kept in, and that is in bounds. Nicole Grove with a big play to tie the game at 21.
Just like we talked about, Nicole Groves is playing a huge part in their offense. She plays so heads up and makes great plays.
Looking to break the tie here, Smith. And that is over and out of bounds off the freshman for Chatfield once again as they put together 3 straight points to go up 22-21.
Again, they're going after the freshman. I think Chatfield knows that as they replace the freshman with number 3 Lanny Stepler. It's her first time checking into the game.
Try to keep an eye on the two L's, but it doesn't matter. It just finds the soft spot. Another point for Fossil Ridge, now up 23-21.
A 4-0 run for Fossil Ridge, and right now the fans are loving it.
Timeout Chatfield as they look to recover from that quick burst of offense from Fossil Ridge.
Fossil Ridge just looked a lot better there. It looks like Chatfield felt they had the win and lost complete focus. They were miscommunicating. You can see right now their coach is not happy.
Fossil Ridge was clearly playing with more drive after that timeout.
Yeah, we see the big difference there was that point by Nicole Groves where she just out of nowhere spiked it into the wide open spot. And I think that was a huge, huge thing for Fossil's momentum.
And they're looking to come out in timeout. They've once again got the serve, and so they're looking to clear up these final 2 points to go to a final set.
Fossil definitely has their adrenaline pumping right now.
Melanie Smith going to take the serve once again. Hits it just barely above the net, kept alive. Going to get a spike? No, but it's going to be kept in play. Fossil Ridge looking for a spike of their own. Number 8, Quinn Van Manen kept alive. Looking for another spike. Van Manen on the edge. Just tips it over. Now looking for a spike of their own. Chatfield. Oh, and it spikes. That is number 9, Ella Faramis, as it deflected off the Fossil players, but went out of bounds. 23-22 Fossil.
That was a very good play by number 9, Ella Faramis. They needed that point very badly. And now it's very close.
The serve from Chatfield. Kept alive barely. Just able to set it. Oh, what a huge spike by Maya Sipple as it deflected off of the Chatfield player into the net and onto the ground. Big. And now we are on set point. Fossil Ridge looking to tie it at 2 apiece, going to a 5th and final set. Bella Kiefer with the serve. And that's in. Oh, and it just deflects off of the Chatfield players. And there we have it. It is now 25-22. That is a second set victory for Fossil Ridge High School.
What a set from Fossil especially, but also Chatfield. Both teams were playing their hearts out there, but Fossil towards the end, they were down 19-21 and then went on the 6-1 streak to secure them a final set and give them a chance to come back.
This is absolutely magnificent. You very rarely ever see a 3-set comeback as Fossil Ridge looking to complete it after they were down 2-0 and looked almost lifeless to start.
It's also very rare to even see a 2-set comeback because generally when a team is up 2-0, they're the vastly superior team. And right now, Fossil, the past 2 sets, has just had a little bit more heart in them.
They've definitely been forced to earn it, though. This has not been an easy go for them whatsoever.
No, we just had to see players just step up. We've seen Nicole Groves step up. We've seen Kiefer, who I don't know when the last time she made a mistake is. She's been playing extremely well in that center position, just bumping it and returning spikes extremely well.
And to see the occasional energy play from someone like Maya Sipple, who was able to get that game-winning points and the game-winning spike, or the set-winning spike, mind me.
They definitely have been utilizing a few more players. It seems like Chatfield is going with a main about 8 or 9 players, where Fossil is using all but 3 of their players right now. They're definitely using a large part of their roster.
It appears that Chatfield's plan will once again to be run through the 2 Ellis, Tashir and Faramis, who have looked, despite their struggles as of late, they've still looked dominant as of the rest of this game. I
would say also a big part for Fossil in their victories in the last 2 sets is they've been targeting certain players. They haven't been going after number 5, Ella Tashir, who's been amazing on defense. The only person who has went through Ella Tashir so far has been Maya Sipple, who won. Her last 2 spikes has gone through Maya Sipple.
A great individual matchup, with Maya Sipple being able to get a couple of clean victories, including the most recent play, which was absolutely massive for Fossil.
Yes, Fossil definitely has the momentum because even though they were down 2-0 at the beginning, they fought so hard and they flipped the script, and right now they are looking like the better team.
Right now this puts all of the pressure on Chatfield because they're a little bit more tense, they're a little less loose, they're a little tired because they're playing the back-to-back. They feel a little less ready compared to Fossil, who's got all the energy and momentum.
Fossil also did play 4 sets against Fruita Monument to Chatfield's 3, so that might also play a factor in this very final set and deciding set.
Yes, we've had a great, so we are going to have eventually 12 sets here at Fossil Ridge High School today. Some great volleyball being played by all 3 teams participating today.
Whichever way this match goes, both teams played very well throughout it and were trying just as good as they could.
And the fifth set is different because they only played a 15 instead of the usual 25. So this should fly by. You still need to win by 2 though, so this could turn into a dogfight very quickly.
I do think it will be important for Chatfield to get Ella Tashur serving, because when she's served, they've been dominant. Although the past 2 times, Fossil has been able to break her serve early, and they've won the past 2 sets because of that.
Fossil with a key first serve advantage, given that they are the home team. And we're going to see the serve from Melanie Smith in a couple of seconds once we get everybody situated.
Looks like we're just waiting for the rest now, as both teams set up for a final set to decide who goes to the final 8 of the Colorado State Championship.
On Fossil's side, you got Smith, Kiefer, Modelmog, Sipple, Grove, and what appears to be Van Manen on that far side. The serve. Kept alive, looking for a big spike here. And that is out of bounds. Got it to Tashur, but she couldn't do anything. That is a big first point for Fossil Ridge High School.
Exactly what we expect from Chatfield to go through Ella Tashur, because she has been the player this game.
Smith, the serve. Kept in. Forced it a little bit, but it's all right. Faramis just tips, kept alive by Fossil. Gonna get one more shot. Kiefer gets it over. Kept alive by Chatfield. Gonna look for a big spike. Tashur. Oh, just barely kept alive by Kiefer, but just couldn't quite get it up in the air, as that is a point for Chatfield.
Again, like the 2 major themes with these teams, Fossil attacking the freshmen on the serves, and Chatfield going back to their number 1 player, Ella Tashur.
1-1. Ella Faramis on the serve. Kept alive. Monomog, the serve. Grove, the spike. And that finds the soft spot. Hits off a Chatfield player, and that is a point for Fossil Ridge High School. Up 2-1 with the serve.
Nicole Grove has been playing extremely well these past, now 3 sets. She's just been spiking it in the perfect spots and has not been stopped.
Bella Kiefer, the serve. Just barely kept alive, but it is going to not be kept alive anymore by Chatfield. That is a quick point for Fossil Ridge.
We can see the difference in the huddles. Fossil Ridge is quick and excited, while Chatfield seems to have a lot to talk about and looks a little bit frustrated with each other.
Bella Kiefer, the serve once again. Rides up, going to get a spike though. Faramis kept alive by Fossil though. Going to get a great spike. Yuwon Su finds a soft spot in the middle. That's a point, Fossil Ridge.
This is incredible to watch, as Fossil Ridge came down from 2-0, and now Chatfield has to call timeouts.
Early timeout from Chatfield. You can see it in the bench, you can see it in the players, you can see it in the staff, you can see it in the fans. Everybody is very hype on the Fossil sideline right now.
The Fossil side is definitely feeling good, as they've won back-to-back sets, and now are looking to clinch a berth in the tournament.
In the Final 8, it would not have been an easy road for them, especially this game. After going 12-1, defeating Fruta in fairly easy fashion, but having to gut out this absolute war, which they have still not secured yet against Chatfield.
Yeah, Chatfield, if they can close this out, would be an incredible testament to their will to win, because when you start off winning, a lot of times you lose focus, but then to regain that focus is extremely tough.
The only harder thing than building momentum is being able to cut off an opponent's momentum.
Yeah, which is what Fossil has had to do 2 or 3 times, and kept themselves in the game through it.
That's what Chatfield will need to do here. But once again, Bella Kiefer getting ready to serve.
4-1 Fossil.
Serve from Kiefer. Kept alive. Big spike here. Tashur. Kept alive by Fossil Ridge. Kiefer getting it up. Big spike Van Manen. Oh, it's barely kept alive. Kept alive once again. Kiefer just able to get it over the net. Looking for another big spike. Faramis deflected by Fossil Ridge. Kept alive. Another big spike. Sure, once again. Deflected by Fossil Ridge. And that is another point. 5-1 Fossil.
Fossil Ridge is absolutely dominating on the defensive end. As we saw there, back-to-back blocks off of what looked to be good spikes.
Great blocks against the best players. And it's just off the hands. Another big point for Fossil Ridge. 6-1.
Bella Kiefer with a phenomenal serve that went right towards the Chatfield player, who just couldn't secure the ball.
Kiefer looking for their 6th point in a row, and that is just out of bounds. Just couldn't keep the streak alive, and it is now 6-2 Fossil Ridge, but you're going to see the serve. from Chatfield.
We saw the same situation where Fossil was up 6-2 with a lot of momentum in the fourth set, but Chatfield went on a big run.
Fossil able to get a clean return. Side to Van Manen, and it just hits off the hands of the Chatfield player. Van Manen able to get a successful play, and that is now 7-2 Fossil Ridge.
That's back-to-back points where they've spiked it, or sorry, yes, back-to-back points where they've spiked it at Zodine, and both times she hasn't been able to get under it and pop it up. It's gone right over her head.
Just subbed in, number 4, Sydney Peterson to take the serve.
7-2 for Fossil.
And it's brought in. Kept alive by Tashur. Looking far side. Faramis just tipped back alive. Kept in. Tashur, far side. And it's almost kept alive by Bella Kiefer, but not able to do it as it's now 3-7 Fairview. Pardon me, Chatfield. Pardon me, Ella. And here we go. Ella Tashur to serve.
Fossil's up by 4. They have a comfortable lead right now.
And that, might have been out of bounds, but kept alive by Fossil. Van Manen just able to tip it over, kept alive. Faramis just able to keep it alive as well. And once again, kept in. 1, brought up, just barely tipped over. Cartwright kept it alive. Once in, Fossil, far side, Van Manen just tipped over, kept alive by Tashur, spiked, and it's brought in alive. Yeon Woo-soo with a great play. Fossil now up 8-3.
Her offense has been incredible. It's been unorthodox. She's made spikes on the move, made spikes without a set, and she has been very effective in her spots so far.
Van Manen the serve. Just barely over the net, kept alive though. Cartwright, far side. Just kept alive by Kiefer. Peterson, able to get it up. And then Van Manen just gets it over. Make them make a play. Spiked, inbounds. Great play by number 12, Hayden Nash, the sophomore. We haven't seen a lot of her.
She has definitely had some nice spikes, but she has not been in the game very much. And it looks like they might start trying to run their offense through someone else because Fossil's effectively been able to shut down Ella Tashur in the past set.
Brought in Mia Conrad, the freshman to serve. Kept alive, just barely. Once again, going to get a good set out of it. Far side, Smith, and it appears to have deflected off a Chatfield player. Another point for Fossil Ridge, 9-4.
Melanie Smith, after really struggling in the first set, she started off very hot with 2 straight points and then struggled for a long time, and she has come out in these past 3 sets and absolutely dominated for Fossil.
Yan Woo-soo, the serve. Kept alive by Cheshire. Going far side, Faramis. Tipped off a player. Yu Won-soo, good dig. Just kept alive. Fossil, Monomog, the spike. Maya Sipple just couldn't get enough of it, and that is a huge point for Chatfield High School.
Chatfield only down by 4 now. Fossil, although it is only to 15, so Fossil only needs 6 more points. Chatfield needs 10.
The serve. Barely kept alive by Fossil. A little bit of miscommunication, but it's all right. Melody Smith. Just out of bounds. That's 2 points in a row for Chatfield High School, 9-6.
That was a good call by Ella Desher to let that one go. A lot of times when something's coming that hard, you stop thinking and just react, but she did a good job keeping her head on her shoulders and letting it go.
And Ash the serve, and it just barely flips over the net. A little bit of a change of momentum as it is now 9-8. That appears to be the call, yes, for Chatfield High School.
I believe it's 9-7.
9-7, my apologies. And here we go. The set, the spike. Maya Sipple hits it off from number 11, Ella Faramis' hands, number 9, as that is a big point for Fossil Ridge High School.
Chatfield making an interesting move, taking out Hayden Nash, who was pivotal in a couple of their points that led to their comeback a little bit.
Number 15, Monomog the serve. Attacking number 11, Conrad, once again. The spike from Faramis, just kept alive by number 8. Kept alive once again, looking for another spike. Just punched over. Punched over once again. We're all good, it looks like. No fouls, and it's deflected back and out of bounds. That was Grove and Sipple with the deflection, but they just couldn't get enough of it.
That was a good spike by Faramis. Good spike by Faramis there. Fossil did a good job reacting to it, but weren't quite able to keep it in bounds. Chatfield only down by 2.
Now with the serve. Just a little bit of miscommunication, as that's another point for Chatfield High School, now only down by 1.
Yeah, it looks like Fossil was thinking a little bit too far ahead there as they were moving before they even got the ball in the air.
And there is a timeout for Fossil Ridge, looking to stop the momentum, as this game is a lot closer than the initial 8-1 that we saw very briefly a couple minutes ago.
Chatfield has definitely flipped the script, just as Fossil's done a couple times in this game. And even though they were down big, they've been able to fight and claw their way back with streaks and with good spikes and just overall good play.
This has been an absolutely pivotal fifth set, as both teams are looking to gut out a victory here and advance to the state finals.
Fossil still with the lead, but Chatfield is definitely have the momentum right now if they can just keep with it. We'll see if they go back to Hayden Nash, who has been so successful, or if they stick with their main three of Faramis, Cartwright, and Tashur.
And we're going to see the serve from the senior, Maddie Folks, as Chatfield is just barely going to try and keep in the game. 10-9 Fossil. The serve from Chatfield. And it's in. Brought alive. The bump by Malamog. Far side. Just barely tipped over, but kept alive by the libero. Faramis gets it over, but it is out of bounds. Great play by Fossil Ridge, and with a little bit of luck, gets the point. They are now up 11-9.
They had a really good spike, but Chatfield had the great save by the libero, but they weren't able to capitalize. Melanie
Smith, the serve, found the soft spot, but kept alive. Got to get a big spike from Tashur, kept alive by number 8, Van Manen. And, just a rough play by Sipple. Just couldn't keep it alive enough as it goes out of bounds.
A great effort, but couldn't quite get to the ball in time to save it. And so it's back to only a 1-point lead.
Number 9, Ella Faramis, is going to take the serve for Chatfield. Good bump there. Bella Kiefer with a bump again. Van Manen, the spike. Kept alive by the libero. Once again, looking for a far side spike. That was Cartwright, and that appears to have been in. That is a big point for Emma Cartwright, as it is now a tie game, 11-11.
Yeah, Fossil really needs to get a clean return off this serve. They've struggled to do that a couple of points now.
First one to win. And you got to win by 2, as that, just barely curves inside. Van Manen was looking at playing it, but it appeared to have just gotten inside, as it is 12-11 for Chatfield. Timeout Fossil.
Chatfield is 3 points away from taking themselves to the state championship tournament.
Only thing is that this is not certain, because Chatfield was in a very similar position, up 21-19 in the fourth set.
Fossil has definitely been familiar, even just in this game, with fighting from behind, both on big scale situations and small scale situations.
This is the first time Fossil's really found themselves in truly too deep of a hole, and they're looking to make a claw out in one of the biggest stages possible.
They definitely have a hole to claw out of, even though it's only 1 point. With how Chatfield's playing, you can't think you can come back from much more than that.
They're playing this is a very close fifth set with momentum swinging back and forth constantly.
Fossil just needs to win a couple points and get one of their better servers up to not let Chatfield get a clean offensive set.
We're going to start with the serve from Chatfield. Number 9, Ella Faramis.
Fossil players are hyping each other up right now, feeling the adrenaline that comes at the end of a game.
You can feel the tension in the air. You can cut it with a knife. And the serve, brought alive. Kept up. The spike, Sipple, kept alive. Looking for a spike of their own. Chatfield, Tashur, far side. Kept alive by Fossil. Malamog, the set. Van Manen, kept alive. Brought back on the Fossil side. Malamog, once again, gonna go Grove. Kept alive once again by Fossil. Just looking to get it over. Sipple, she hits it at the top of the net. That is a point, Chatfield.
We've seen that 3 or 4 times where Sipple, when it's not a perfect set to her, hasn't been able to adjust. She's got to make a couple of those go over.
13-11, the serve from Chatfield. Kept alive, but it might be out. No, it's kept in, just over the net. A little bit of miscommunication on the Chatfield side, but they're going to get it up. And it just finds the hole. 14-11, Chatfield. This is going to be match point. First one we've had all game.
This is it for Fossil. You don't have any other option than win the point.
Fossil's got to win 3 straight points in a row to even have a sliver of a chance of winning. And it's in. Bella Kiefer with the set. Malamog brings it up. Van Manen looking to get it over, and they do. Kept alive. Looking for a big set here. Far side. Just tipped over. Kept alive. And that is
and
a
they
point.
stay in it.
Point.
They stay in it.
Nicole Grove able to get a block just in time as it goes over. That is a point. Fossil Ridge, 14-12. They are now down.
We cannot be surprised that Nicole Grove is the one to make the play.
Bella Kiefer, the serve. They need to win these next 2 points to even stay alive in this game. Oh, sure, it's blocked, and that's the game. And now it appears that Chatfield is going to move on to the state tournament. Fossil gave it their all, but couldn't quite come back as they now lose 3 sets to 2 as they lose the final set 15-12.
What an incredible effort by both teams, but it just came down to Chatfield just had a couple players that were just too good for Fossil.
Nothing but respect for both teams. Absolute great effort put in by both teams, and that is the end of Fossil season, but they put on an absolute clinic, and they absolutely showed the best of themselves and their players. We're done here.